Different level. No, I know, but I'm saying to me, in my mind, the spit is just there.
Much French dog shit. I didn't even take French in school. I mean, I should have took French. I was so pissed off. I remember one time. So they have like the SAC room right across from the French room. And so, for those of y'all that don't know, SAC is like for the bad kids where you're like in school detention. So I'm sitting in detention, bro. And it's like French is right across from us. They're just watching like Disney movies in French with English subtitles on them. And that was French class. And I remember I took Spanish because I'm like, duh, I'm Hispanic. Spanish gonna be stupid easy. Well, I get there, they see my last name, it's a Hispanic last name. So they're like, hey, take this test so we know where to place you at. I'm like, cool. And I tried to fail this test so hard. I was like, I'm just gonna say dumb shit. You know what I mean? Did it. Scored amazingly, got put in Spanish 3, which is like AP Spanish. I'm like, fuck. So I had to learn about vosotros and all types of other dumb shit. I'm like, God, I should have took French. Should have just watched Disney movies, man. Hello from yonder with me and my Viking cup. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Black Talk. And on this episode, we're going to talk about self-respect. So before we talk about self-respect, let me just remind you guys, if you're watching this video, if you're just listening to the audio, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Really helps the podcast grow. And thank you for being here every week. Skål.
I'm trying to not laugh into the mic so that way you don't have a hard time editing later.
No, that's all good, man. Go ahead and introduce yourself, brother.
Hey, everybody. I'm Gallo. I'm the chivalrous chauvinist, also main host or only host of Sucias Are My Favorite. But I like to come on here because Boogie's like a little younger brother version of me. And, we're working things out to help you guys be better with dating and relationships and all that other stuff. So you get more of the nitty gritty here where I just kind of make it all condensed and bite size on my side.
Yeah, and sometimes we're just not trying to help you. Sometimes me and God just want to talk shit, So don't always expect to just get help all the time, you know what I mean? You're not paying us. I mean, every now and again we need an us week. and I'm okay with that. But this week, it's all about self-respect. Expounding on last week's subject. And Guy, why don't you start us off hot?
Last week we were talking about difference between a gentleman and a nice guy, and mostly just being self-respect. So that was kind of a focus of self-respect in dating. And while we were kind of Boogie and I talking off pod, throughout the week, because we keep in touch from time to time. And I've realized, what? We should talk about self-respect like in the workplace for your personal self. And the one that stands out in my mind that people who knew me back when I was an electrician, which was a long ass time ago, people still talk about it. Like I'll go back to Texas and run into some electrician friends, and it's one of those like myth stories now. Cause a guy that, well, let me just tell the story. So there's a guy we used to call Old Man Jack, and Old Man Jack was a cantankerous, mean, scary old bastard. Like almost everybody was scared of him. They never wanted to get on his bad side. Anytime something went wrong, he would just yell and throw shit and, just fucking have a conniption fit. And everyone that was supervisor level was kind of afraid of him. Now, I got sent to his job site because I was fucking up and being a jerk when I was working on my job site over at Intercontinental Airport. I was working for an electrical company, and we were doing just jobs. We just had a constant contractor doing just random shit there. And so if you're a pilot listening to this, I'm the reason you can see your little LED sign that takes you to the terminal you're supposed to go to with all your little flight information that you get there. I was helping rebuilding that. But anyways, so I was being an asshole, being a jerk to my boss there. So I got demoted from being a lead and got sent to go put on my tools and work like a fucking pack mule or like a Mexican over with the old man Jack. So anyways, I'm over at old man Jack's, and the second worst thing you can do, or the worst thing you have to do as an electrician, is working underground. And that's basically digging a ditch with a shovel in the middle of summer, at least 18 inches deep, 6 feet wide, and as many 100 feet as they need to go from the street to the service that goes to the building. Because most people are too cheap to rent a ditch witch or whatever. Anyways, the next worst thing is having to connect all the light poles that go outside. And so that was my job, connecting light poles or getting the power or the copper wire to the light poles and getting the base prepared for light poles that are going to be in the parking lot and all around the building. And so I was out there by myself in the Texas heat, in the middle of July. If you're from Houston, you know how bad that can be, working outside. And so you can't work a full 8 hours outside. You got to stop and take breaks. You got to go drink water. You got to take a piss break. And so I was working roughly, like actually doing about 15 minutes of work per hour, if you broke it all down. And because I was by myself and not on my own, all I had was a radio. Oh, no, I didn't have a radio. Sorry. At the time I didn't. And I heard on the radio, old man Jack complaining, why the fuck is Gallo not getting any work done? I just came out there to inspect him. He's not even out here, blah, 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 blah. So I I turned around, grabbed the radio off of the lead that was, he used to be my helper back in the day. Now he was a lead, but because I pissed off my boss, now I'm over here with my tools. So I grabbed the radio off of him and I started talking to old man Jack, not yelling, but standing up for myself like, hey, look, I'm only getting 15 minutes of work done because of the Texas heat. We have a porta potty. The nearest porta potty to me was about 100 yards one direction. The nearest water cooler was about 50 yards in another direction. Or I might have gotten the yardage mixed up, but one was further than the other. They weren't near each other. And of course, I had to stop and take breaks. And then the supply room, the Connex, basically a 40-foot trailer full of all the stuff that we need that we got to sign out for, was on the opposite end of the building. So there was nothing near me. So if I needed something or ran out of something, I couldn't send a helper to do it because I was working by myself. So I was explaining this to old man Jack, like, hey, this is why I'm not getting the production done. You want more done? I need a porta john, I need a water cooler, and I need a helper. The channel was silent. Like everybody was dead ass quiet. And my guy was like, do not tell him I lent you my radio. Like he was terrified that Jack would find out that I got a radio off of him. Next thing I hear is about 2 minutes later, come to my office. All right. So everybody thought I'm going to be getting my tools. I'm getting fired. I'm getting kicked off this job, whatever. So I go to the front office. He tells me, go home. Do you want me to pack my tools or am I just going home for the rest of the day? Go home. I'll see you tomorrow. Like, all right. So I left. Come back the next day. And my workstation the very next day, I had a porta-john, I had a water cooler, a 5-gallon jug all to myself, and a helper. And I had that throughout the whole day, or till the end of my purgatory period that I was there working with old man Jack. And that's one of those things where you have to learn where to stand up for yourself. Even if you run the risk of losing your job, you have to respect yourself enough to know that you're not going to let yourself be talked down to by anyone. There's only 2 people on earth that can yell at me, and they're both already dead. And by that, I mean my parents. So you shouldn't allow yourself to be stepped on, walked on. And I get it. In today's economy, it's a lot tougher to be able to stand up for yourself and not get walked over. So what I always practice, even back then, is I always live like I'm only making minimum wage money. So even though back then I was making, I don't know, $12 or $13 an hour, maybe 15, I don't recall. I lived like I was only making $7 and change, even though my take home was a little bit less. It was roughly about $10 an hour take home. I pretend, or I live like I'm only making $7. So that way, if I get fired, if I ever lose my job, I can go get a job at Burger King, McDonald's, or wherever, and still maintain my standard of living. And it's just a whole bunch of other life lessons for you you can take away from that. But the biggest one I'm trying to tell you is have self-respect for yourself. Never let anyone walk over you, no matter where the situation is, because you have to be able to stand up for yourself and you have to live with yourself down the road.
Yeah, that's definitely important to remember. I don't really have any like work self-respect stories, mostly because like, one, I'm usually like always the youngest person at every job I go to. So like everybody just kind of like treats me like their kid brother type shit. And so like, and then plus, I'm goofy as fuck, so I just keep making people laugh. So I never really had like any issues like that at work. But I mean, man, I'm trying to think of a good story. Cause the only ones that I have is like I guess technically prison stories, but I don't really think those count because people take respect differently in prison. Because so in prison, right, everything is about respect. Like that's definitely a main sticking point. But there are certain weird things that people find like strange about respect in prison, like certain shit that you won't even think about. You know what I mean? That's like just dumb shit, like changing the TV channel without asking everybody's permission. You know what I mean? It's like you're disrespecting everybody in the day room. So then people are like, "Oh, fuck that shit." But like, oh god, I'm trying to think of one, man. Oh, okay, I got one. I was at a nightclub. Okay, this is gonna be a self-respect story at a nightclub. So I was at a nightclub. I just got out of prison, maybe like a couple months or whatever. I had been out with my dad once before. My dad offered to take me out to this club. We go out to a club. I go ask a young lady to dance. We go dance. I come back to the bar, right? I left my beer sitting at the bar. I come back. There's two dudes where my beer was at. Okay? So I asked the gentleman that was standing in front of my beer. I said, "Hey, excuse me." And these are two tall motherfuckers, man. Like, so me, myself, I'm only 5'10". One of these guys was about maybe like 6'3". The other one was about 6'1". I asked the 6'1" guy if he could move because he was standing in front of my beer. I just kind of like tapped him on the shoulder. I was like, "Excuse me, I'm trying to get to my beer." And it's loud in the club. You can't fucking hear shit. So I don't know what the fuck he heard, but he like gave me a thumbs up, moved over to the other side of his friend, and I grabbed my beer. And I was like, "Cute." I stand there. I'm sipping on my beer. His friend, the 6'3" one, he says it loud as fuck to make sure I can hear him. He's like, "You think my friend's a bitch or something like that?" And I said, "Well, I don't really know your friend. I can't tell him how to feel." You know what I'm saying? But if you think he a bitch, maybe he is. So then he's like, yeah, I've never been good at a confrontation. Needless to say. So, yeah, there we go. I'm never good at defusing it. So then he's like, "What the fuck you say?" And so I set my beer down. And then, so I'm there with my dad and his wife. And so his wife sees what the fuck is going on. So then I'm like, after I set my beer down, I tell the dude, I'm like, because he's like, "What you say?" And I was like, "You heard me, motherfucker. I said what I said. If you think he's a bitch, he's a bitch." I said, "You probably a bitch too, having to stick up for your girl like that." And then my stepmom and my dad are right there. So then they get in between us, and they're like, "Hey man, like chill the fuck out. What happened?" Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, security shows up, right? Now my dad and my stepmom come here like 3 weekends out the month religiously. So security knows them, the owner knows them. They always spend good money. So they see us. Security comes over. They're like, "Is there a problem?" And then I'm like, "Nah, I'm good." And then old buddy's like, he's still saying some bullshit. I can't hear him now because we're separated. Security takes us both outside, like to go talk. So he's like, "Hey, what the fuck's your problem, man?" I said, "I don't have a problem, dude." I said, "My beer was there. I asked your friend if he could fucking move so I could grab my beer." I said, "He didn't have a problem with it, so I don't understand what the fuck your problem is." I said, "My beer's there." Your friend was like, "No problem, dude." Got out the way. I said, "So what the fuck is your problem?" And he's like, "Oh man," he's like, "I misheard you then." He's like, I thought you told him to get the fuck out the way, man." He's like, "My bad." And then he like went and shook my hand. And I'm like, "Dude, this could have been avoided, bro." I was like, "Listen, even then," I was like, let's imagine I did say that." I said, for sake of argument right now, I said, let's say I did say that. Your friend moved, bro. Like, you ain't got to stand up for your friend. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I said, I ain't got no problem with you. I ain't even fucking talk to you. I said, I'm cool for the rest of the night if you gonna be cool, son. But I'm not finna go in here and be having to be worried about you. I said, because I don't have problems. I got solutions. And then the dude was like, Nah, yeah, man, we're good. And then we shook hands, and then that was the end of that. But then like later on, we all get drunk. We meet up at the taqueria next door, and so I'm drunk. These two dudes are drunk. They're coming over there laughing, and then that dude was like, "Man, you know what's crazy?" He's like, "Most motherfuckers." He's like, "Most motherfuckers are scared of me, man, because of how tall I am." And he's like, "You didn't give a fuck." I said, "Hey, big motherfuckers fall down too, man. I don't give a shit." And then so we're just like start laughing, and then they bought me a beer or whatever, and it was a good time. But that again, self respect. Like some motherfuckers, you gotta have self respect for yourself to be like, listen, I didn't do anything wrong, and I didn't do anything disrespectful, and you're trying to disrespect me, so I need to have the self respect to stand up for myself. Because I know that there's a lot of people, especially nowadays, because it's like politically incorrect to be an aggressive man or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? So it's like not okay to stand up for yourself. And I never believed in that shit, man. I think self respect comes from, I mean, obviously yourself. And if you respect yourself and you're a respectful person to other people, most people tend to respect you back. But there are some motherfuckers that they just ain't got no sense and no goddamn home training that they're gonna try to disrespect you. And if somebody tries to disrespect you, whether it be man, woman, or child, you know what I'm saying? If a toddler's disrespecting me, I'm gonna take that motherfucker's lollipop shit. I'm gonna fuck him up. Fuck that kid.
Oh man, no, that's the thing is I've noticed with I guess it's the younger generation, like younger than millennials, zennials, alpha, whatever it is. They're not used to confrontation in general, and I get it. It can be scary, and even in your situation, like there is a possibility of violence, especially when it's night and you're talking about a club environment or bar environment. I mean, there's always that possibility that even if they, like they misheard you and he wanted to start something, if he were drunker, he might have just started swinging just for whatever reason. Like there's always that risk and that possibility. But the value in you standing up for yourself is greater than the pain that you'll have in getting a fight. And I'm not saying go out and get into fights. I'm not saying to go out and start shit, but don't let anybody walk over you. That's the biggest main point. And if you can't, or if you're afraid of having that deal with that type of situation, then don't go out to bars, don't go out to clubs, because you might run into someone or do something stupid or say something stupid, especially when you're drinking. That's another reason I'm not big on going out and drinking and having parties and having fun like that. If you're going to drink at home, where you know the people, you know the environment. If you're going to go out, try to limit yourself, because yeah, sure, it feels great to have a buzz and that feeling of lightheadedness and being drunk or whatever, or inebriated, whatever levels that you like. But as you get older, the hangovers cost more and more and more, and the level of drunkenness is not worth it, because you might say or do something stupid. You might get behind the wheel. You might do all kinds of stupid shit. So it's better to just stay home and do that. If you really want to feel that, fucking just go out and get high. Fucking edibles, chillest high you'll ever get, similar to being drunk. You're more in control of yourself. I still wouldn't go out and drive, but either way, um, the point coming back to is with the younger generation is standing up for others too, because you shouldn't just have self-respect for yourself. You should have respect enough to want those around you to be treated with respect, especially if they're close to you. And one example that I have is I'm a manager, and one of the guys under me, he goes around taking care of things for me. And we had an issue with this one guy who was actually older than me. Like he should have known better, but this guy was big on respect. Like he was in prison and had never gotten that mindset out. If people like rolled their eyes at him or smacked their lips or whatever, why are you disrespecting me? You better fucking do what I say, this, that, and the other. And the crazy thing is this guy wasn't even a supervisor. He was just another worker, another employee. And he had just gotten promoted to lead, not a supervisor, not level, just kind of like in charge of two people in his area, right? Not in charge of the whole plant, not in charge of the whole section. And he came over to my guy and said, "Hey, I need to take care of this," or whatever it was, I need to get fixed, right? And my guy just nodded his head and walked off. Like didn't, acknowledge what he said, but kept going. And supposedly that was a sign of disrespect, this, that, and the other, all this other crazy shit that was going on. And so when my guy was done, he came over to me because he knew how this guy reacted and how he behaved. He goes, "Look, Jim might come over and say that I disrespected him. This is what happened." I'm like, "Cool. I know what to expect." So it's kind of like one of those things where having that mutual respect that I have with my direct reports is that they know to tell me the truth. Like I tell them two things: don't lie to me and do your best. That's all I want from you. And so anything comes up, they come and tell me, let me know real quick. Hey, this happened. This is what's going on. And so when he came over to tell me what transpired, not even 30 seconds later, Jim comes rocking in. I need to talk to you, Gallo. And, I don't think your employee is going to want to hear it. And my employee said, no, I know you're going to be talking about me. So go ahead, because he was leaving for the day. He's an early shift guy. So my guy was getting ready to leave, undressing or, taking off his shoes, changing from his work boots to his tennis shoes, whatever. And Jim just started going off on him, started berating him, started yelling at him like, whoa, 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 calm down. You can tell him whatever you need to tell him without raising your voice. And he's calmed down a little bit, kept telling him about, this, there's disrespect and that, and this is not cool and whatever. It's like, I don't hear any disrespect there. Well, this motherfucker, like, whoa, 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 whoa. Don't you raise your voice at me. Don't cuss at me and don't cuss at my employee. What is the problem? We can talk like adults. What's going on? And it boiled down to, like I said, my guy walked past him. Jim asked him to take care of something. My guy nodded at him and kept going. Didn't say, okay, yeah, I'll take care of it. Yeah, I'm on it. What Jim wanted was for my guy to stop what he was doing and go take care of this issue, which really wasn't an issue, is basically like closing a vent where my guy had to take care of something that would affect the plant. And a lot of the people I've noticed in the work environment that I'm in feel entitled that whatever their little issue or problem is the biggest thing in the world. And then my guys need to stop what they're doing. And it's something that I've slowly been able to train with the other people that work in the production area as to how to handle these things, that it's not the most important thing in the world, that through respect, through communication, through talking with them, letting them know, yeah, we will get to your problem eventually, but the most important thing is to keep the machines running. Dealing with little things, dealing with inconveniences really is not the most important thing in the world, but we will take care of them as we can. And so being able to communicate that way versus just yelling the way Jim was doing would lower morale on all sides, on the production side, on the maintenance side. And, it was a terrible work environment and nobody wants to be there. A lot of people would drop and quit. But now that the environment is getting better because Jim is gone, thankfully, everybody's happier. Everything's working in a much smoother way because self-respect and mutual respect for others. Because self-respect, you can't expect others to respect you if you don't respect yourself. But by respecting yourself, you should be able to give respect to others and show them the respect that they deserve so you can work on the same level field as opposed to trying to just be assholes and yell and be the loudest person so people pay attention to you.
You can't expect somebody to respect you and then you just running around disrespecting everybody. You know what I mean? You can't just go around being a raging asshole. But, see, that's exactly what I was talking about, though, which is kind of funny again. It's that prison mindset, bro, where it's like minuscule shit is taken as disrespect. So that's why I didn't want to tell a prison story, because I'm like, there's certain shit that, like, I know some people see it as disrespect, but it's not always that. Because don't get me wrong, there are some things that are done disrespectfully, but there are other things that are, like, dumb. Like, I'll give you a dumb story real quick, just as a sidebar. Here we go. Okay, so for those that don't know me, like I got a bunch of tattoos and stuff like that. So I was getting my chest done, allegedly, in prison. And so I'm getting my chest done. A guard comes through for a walk by. I run to the restroom because legally they're not allowed to look inside the restroom because they're not supposed to be looking at you in the shower. Because, the showers ain't got no curtains. They got to be open. So they're not supposed to look at that. They're not supposed to look in the shower when they're doing a walkthrough. You know what I'm saying? So I go to the bathroom. The way the bathroom is set up, all right, I'm going to give you a visual here. So let's say you're looking into the bathroom, okay? On your left-hand side, you have a row of sinks. On the back wall, there's 2 showers, okay? They're about like 8 feet tall, about body size wide. They're very tiny, you know what I mean? And then on the right side, you have 4 crappers, and then you got 2 urinals on your right-hand side, okay? That's what you're looking at. There are 2 people in the shower. I go to the bathroom, I hit the urinal, and I'm taking a piss, okay? Because I'm like, this is a great time for me to go ahead and take a piss. Well, I'm having my chest turned away from the guard, so that way he can't see my bloody shirt. You know what I'm saying? Because my chest is bleeding through my white shirt that we use in TDCJ. So I'm having to like angle myself away. Well, it just happens that my whole body is being angled towards the shower. There's a dude in there that's fucking upset. Cause he's like, hey man, don't nobody want to see your fucking dick. And I'm not paying attention to him because I'm not thinking he's talking to me. Because I'm overlooking my shoulder trying to see if like the guard has passed by yet. And he's like, hey, say, look out, SA. I said ain't nobody trying to see your dick. So then I was like, I think he's talking about me. So I'm going to see what the fuck he's talking about. And I look over and he's like, turn the fuck around, man. I said, what the fuck are you talking about? And he's like, I said, turn the fuck around, dude. Don't nobody want to see your dick. And I'm like, then don't look at my dick. Like, what the fuck? Like, look at the wall, son. Like, what are you talking about? And then, so anyway, I finished pissing. I put my shit up. I wash my hands. I go back to get my chest tattooed. Oh, buddy comes out the shower. Now, I didn't know this at the time, okay? Just so y'all know. Oh, buddy gets out the shower, okay? Because I just got there. I've literally been inside of this cell, like this cell block, for 2 days, okay? I start getting my chest redone or whatever the fuck. I'm getting it done. Oh, buddy comes over, and he's like, hey, say, man, don't ever do no gay ass shit like that ever again. And I'm like, dude, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, bro. Like, I'm just trying to hide my chest from the guard. Like, I'm not even worried about showing you my dick, bro. Like, it's not even on that type shit. I just had to take a piss, and I'm trying to hide my chest. And then he's like, whatever, man. You do some more bullshit like that, you and me gonna have a problem. And then he just walks the fuck off. The guy who's tattooing my chest tells me, he's like, what did you do? Told him the story. He's like, you know, that dude is the speaker for all the Crips on the yard. Speaker means that he is the head honcho of all the Crips at this unit. Like, not only for this cell block, but for the whole unit. So I didn't know this motherfucker is a big deal. And apparently he teaches the other black guys how to box or whatever the fuck. So that's who this individual is. Okay? I didn't know that. This random Mexican dude comes up to me, okay, because they found out I was Mexican. He comes over there. They said, hey, man, why you let that dude talk to you like that? And I said, what are you talking about? Now, just so y'all know, this is my first time in prison, been in prison 2 total days. I'm 17 years old. This dude tells me, he's like, why you let him talk to you like that? I said, I ain't let him talk to me like nothing. He said, don't show me your dick. I said, I'm not showing you my dick. He said, don't let it happen again. I said, didn't happen the first time. And then he left. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, that dude trying to disrespect you. I said, no, that dude has some sort of complex about dicks being near him. So now I just know whenever he's taking a shower, don't put a dick near him because he gonna think you trying to fuck him. I said, so now I know. You know what I'm saying? When that dude's taking a shower, don't take a piss, I guess. And, you know, I'm making a joke out of it. But the Mexicans, like, literally had a meeting about this, bro. Like, a 20-minute conversation where at the end they called me over. And they were like, hey, man, you just got to know, in here it's all about respect, da 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 da. So you can't let that dude disrespect you like that because then he going to think all of us Mexicans are peons. I said, I said, bro, he didn't disrespect me, son. Like, ain't no disrespect. And then that's when they try to, like, tell you, like, no, man, everything in prison can be taken as disrespect, so you got to be careful. I'm like, y'all motherfuckers institutionalized. Y'all crazy, son. It's not that serious to me. I'm like, because I didn't even see it as I'm disrespecting him. So if he's going to blow it out of proportion, like the fuck, all I did was tell him, like, hey, man, whatever, dude. I'm doing my own fucking shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm over here with my chest tatted the fuck up. The last thing I'm going to do is get into a fight because then they're going to write me up for fighting and I got fresh ink all over my chest. You know what I'm saying? Plus, if he punches me one time, my chest sore the motherfucker right now. You know what I'm saying? So I'd have been fucked. But that's why I didn't want to tell a prison story because I'm like, the idea of respect is skewed like terribly so. Just like that coworker. You know what I'm saying? It's on some dumb shit. It's like that don't even make no sense, bro. I acknowledged you by nodding at you, but you wanted a verbal kiss assery explanation of like, sure, yes, sir, I'm gonna do it as soon as you tell me to. Like, no, man, that's just dumb shit. And that's that prison mentality. And that's why, like, when I came home, and I didn't get it at first because I just got to jail. And then after being there 5 years, and then I came home, and then everybody started telling me, like, that I had that prison mindset, I started realizing, like, oh my God, like, I'm a crazy person. I need to chill the fuck out. Because when I first came home, I was also a crazy motherfucker that everything was disrespect. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't eat pork when I came home. And I remember we were at a table for my brother's birthday. And another skew story, real quick. I'm at the table for my brother's birthday. We went to go get pizza, son. My mom orders pepperoni pizza for my brother. Okay, I ordered cheese because I'm like, hey, pepperoni swine. I don't do that. So they bring the pepperoni pizza, put it in front of me. My brother says, hey, bro, can you pass the pepperoni pizza down the table to me? Because I know you ain't going to eat it. I'll hand you the cheese one. I'm like, fuck no, bro. I'm not even going to touch that bitch ass plate. They got pork on it. La, da, 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 da. And then my sister's like, the fuck is the matter with you, yo? All you're doing is passing it, dude. Wash your fucking hands if it's that big a deal. So then I get into an argument with my sister I'm going to wrap it up and I'll get into the details of it, but I threatened to flip the fucking table over in the middle of the goddamn restaurant because I got so frustrated by being asked to touch a pepperoni pizza.
Oh, man. No.
And that's what I'm saying, man. That shit is irrational, son.
No, yeah, I got a sample of that. The time I allegedly spent a couple of nights in Harris County Jail in downtown Houston. It was crazy. I was lucky because at the time I was in my early 20s and I didn't get sent to the Gladiator tank. And for anybody that's listening or doesn't know, the Gladiator tank is basically anybody from like 18 to 25. And I was in that age range, but I don't know if the way I behaved, the way I looked, because they have your date of birth. They have all your information. They know how old you are. But I got put into the old folks, the geezer tank. And all of us just chill there, just watching our fucking Judge Judy and our Judge Mathis and just chilling the fuck out, just waiting fucking for the bullshit to be over with, because you can get your count, you're gonna get your food, you can get another count, you get some more food and you go to sleep. Repeat every fucking day and watch TV. But the disrespect is there because there's some people that are basically in there on their way to TDC and, trying to punk other motherfuckers in there. And this is funny because this kind of circles back to self-respect. And so this black guy, he was 6'2", 6'3", and most of the black guys in there, I mean, they're ripped. They got 8 to 10% body fat. You see every muscle on them, right? A little taller than me, 6'2", lean as fuck. And there's a little younger Asian guy. I don't know. He could have been 20. He could have been 40. I don't know. But he looked young, this little Asian guy. And he was tiny. He was 5'3", 5'4", short little fucker. And the black guy kept fucking with him. Like, yo, dog, come on, let me get. You ain't gonna need all that food. You tiny. You don't need all that, man. I'm big. I need extra food. Let me get that. Let me get your milk. Let me get your whatever. And the little Asian guy sometimes would give him whatever because either he didn't like it or whatever. The Asian guy didn't speak in English, or I didn't hear him speak in English. He might understood whatever. I just know that I never heard the little Asian guy speak in English. So every day, the little Asian guy would be on the phone doing his collect call, talking whatever his language was. And another thing that happens in county jail is, especially at the time, collect calls, cell phones could not accept collect calls. You always had to go to a landline. So to be able to call a cell phone, you had to do a three-way. Basically, call somebody with the landline, have that person on the landline call the person on a cell number because that's the only way you could call cell people. And so anybody in county be like, yo, come on, let me get a three-way. Or you tell a three-way on your own line. You call your mom or whoever that has a landline, usually the old people, and then have them call your girlfriend or whoever that you need to talk to on the landline or the cell line. So anyways, this black guy comes up to this little chinito. He's like, yo, come on, dog, let me get a three-way. Let me get a three-way. And little Asian guy's like turning away, trying to talk in a little whatever language he was talking. And then that black guy puts his fingers on the guy, little Asian's head, like, you a punk. It pushes him away. And I'm kind of paying attention because I'm a people watcher. I don't like I keep my back to the wall or keep my back to as few people as possible. Just always looking around, watching TV, whatever Judge Judy was doing. And I see the what's going on because there was three telephones. And I see the guy push him. Little Asian guy, and he doesn't hang up the phone. He just puts it on top of the payphone. He turns around. I don't know what he did. I don't know if he backhanded him. I don't know if he turned around and spun kick him. All I know, it looked like he just turned right around, grabbed the phone, and started talking. And I saw that little flash. I'm like, wait, what the fuck just happened? And the next thing I know, I see that big old black dude just fall over, just drop down to the ground. Everybody just shuts the fuck up because they just see what happens, and then goes right back to watching Judge Judy. Count comes around, and everybody's looking for Mathis, this guy, or Matthews. Sorry, his name was Matthews, not Judge Mathis. Matthews, where you at? Finally, someone says, I think he's over there by the phones. He was still knocked out. 2 hours later, they check on him. They pull him out. He almost got in trouble. And we almost got locked down because they thought that he had escaped because he wasn't answering. He wasn't showing up and all this other shit. And finally, they pull him out, took him to medical, and I didn't see him again. But I just thought that was the craziest thing, that this black guy is trying to punk this little smaller guy because, disrespected him or whatever. And he ends up getting knocked out. So watch out who you try to fuck with.
That's why, I remember when I got these tattoos on the inside of my biceps. For people that don't know, so it says a bar none, fade all, and so it's kind of like a saying that we have in prison, where it's like the whole saying is big, little, or small, I bar none, fade all. That means whoever want it can get it. You know what I mean? But I don't go looking for fucking problems either. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm a cool dude. I respect everybody. I also just want the same fucking respect back because I'm like, listen, I respect everybody and their space. I respect whatever you got going on, and I want the same thing. Now, speaking from a dating aspect of self-respect, real quick, another nightclub story, if you can believe it. So, I met this girl, right? Met this girl, pretty young lady, whatever the fuck. Anyway, we go out on a date. We go on a date to go to brunch. We go to brunch. Have a great time, you know what I'm saying? We hit it off. And she's like, hey, man, it's my cousin's birthday later. Why don't you come with me to the club? I'm like, bet. Tell me where you're going. I'll meet you up. You know what I'm saying? Whenever I have time. She's like, cool. I meet her up later. You know what I'm saying? I get there. We dance a little bit. We doing our thing. And then some dudes show up. You know what I'm saying? And these dudes hop up in a section. And they lit. I've talked about this story before with TJ in older episodes. They're lit. I'm talking about they got all the motherfucking jewelry on. You know what I'm saying? They got shades on. They're smoking weed in the club and they're ordering bottles. So they lit. Like they got to know the owner or whatever the fuck. They lit. The girl I'm with, she sees that shit. She like that shit. So she goes over there. And she goes and starts dancing on one of them dudes while I'm in the bathroom. I come back. I see that shit. I dip the fuck out. I go hit the dance floor. I go meet some other girl. I start dancing with her. Whatever. Later on, her cousin sees me. She's like, hey, where's my cousin Cindy at? I said, how the fuck I'm supposed to know? I said, she found her something better in there apparently. Shit, so she ain't my problem no more. And then her cousin was like, you for real? I said, hell yeah, I don't give a fuck. So her cousin left. Anyway, that girl and her cousin brought another friend. I saw her friend peek me all night. When she heard I didn't give a fuck about Cindy, me and her start chatting up outside while her cousin went to go look for her. We start chatting. I end up taking her home because she brought her male friend over there. Basically, she brought her wallet, and then she wasn't fucking with him. So then, at this time, I just bought my brand new truck too. You know what I'm saying? So I'm fucking whipping in that bitch. I get her in there. I'm like, hey, well, you know what I'm saying? Why not take you for a ride in my truck? We'll go take a spin or whatever. She gets in my truck. I see old girl and her cousin walking on the sidewalk because now they got to find a ride. So they're walking down the sidewalk. I pull up, roll my window down. I'm like, y'all need a ride? And then she's like, hell no, I don't need shit from you. I said, good, you weren't going to get one from me, baby. I was going to say call an Uber. Bye. And I just dipped the fuck out and took their friend home. And when I pulled over and I rolled the window down, she leaned my seat all the way back to hide from her friends. Because I'm like, yeah, bitch. You just don't know. I'm like, I wish they would have seen you too, go ass. But again, that's me having enough self-respect, having enough respect for myself to be like, listen, this girl ain't just going to disrespect me in a public setting. Because again, people knew that I went there with her. Her cousin and her friend knew that I drove over there to go meet her as a date. And then she gonna ditch me for some other dude. Now again, some of y'all guys, and I've seen it before, so before y'all be like, Boogie always be capping. I see that shit. I see motherfuckers go up, their girl will be dancing with a whole nother dude, and they'll just be standing there laughing on the sideline like, ah ha ha ha. That's so funny. Or they'll just look away and try to act like they don't see what's up. While all they friends come. Because if I'm your friend, if Boogie your friend and I see that shit, I'm finna dog you, son. I'm finna make you feel like you about yay big. You know what I'm saying? Because if you ain't got no respect for yourself, how the fuck Boogie supposed to respect you? You know what I'm saying? I already told you. You start off with respect already. Until you show me you don't deserve that respect no more, son. Because then I'm like, Why the fuck I'm respecting you for? You don't let these motherfuckers respect you. And if that means that your own friends or your own girl don't respect you, you know what I'm saying? How the fuck am I supposed to respect you? And how are other people supposed to respect you? And how am I supposed to take you anywhere with me? And then you making me look like I'm a pussy by association. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, and see, so this is where the age difference is going to show. So I will take that guy like, come on, I'm gonna go get you some pussy. We're gonna forget about this bitch right now. So I mean, and I get your point of view where you're not going to respect someone if they're not going to respect themselves. But then that's going to push them lower and lower and lower, and they're not going to stand up for themselves because, oh well, shit, nobody respects me, blah 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 blah. Because you're kicking them while they're down, essentially, right?
No, I'm being facetious. I'm fucking around. I'm being facetious.
But I get that. You know, I've been in those shoes. I've done the same kind of thing back in the day. And so now you want to get them like, hey, no, come on. I'm going to get you laid. Come on. I'm going to show you how to do this. This is how you fuck this bitch. You're going to get over her by getting under someone else. That's the only way we're going to take care of this.
I'm being facetious than a motherfucker. I just said that for the joke. But, because I won't go out with nobody that's not my partner anyway. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I hang around with dudes that can get women because I don't want to be with somebody that doesn't get women and feels like they have to snake me for my girl. You know what I'm saying? Because I never want to even have that type of doubt hanging over my head. Whereas where I'm with dudes that I know that they can get women and they'll get a different type of woman or a different caliber of women. Because like when me, Dan, and Slim go out, I usually never have to worry about like us going after the same chick type shit. You know what I'm saying? Because we're attracted to different things, which it ain't no bad thing. I really don't mind it like that. But even if we were all attracted to the same thing, it'd be like, you know, we kind of just be like, hey man, like you see no girl, like I'm finna go shoot my shot. And like, let's just say hypothetically, right? It's you and me, Algayo. We see a bad little big booty Latina, and you tell me you're like, hey man, I'm finna go shoot my shot at that right now. I'll be like, oh shit, I was peeping her too, man. Go ahead, go do your thing. You need me to go jump on that fat friend or what's up? The cockeyed one. Because I know that's for friend too. Look at her cock blocking. I said, I'll take that big old bitch. You know what I mean? But that's like just how it'd be. It'd be like, we'd work it out to where it wouldn't be an issue. Whereas in like, if you fucking with a dude that don't really get women like that, sometimes they, you know, they got that fucked up mindset where again, they don't respect themselves and they don't respect you. So they're just going to go over there. And then when you step away to go use the restroom, they're going to be talking shit like, damn man, I can't believe you even talking to that dude like that, man. He was just talking to a different girl like that last night, man. It's crazy. I can't believe it, but nah, that's my boy though, man. That's my boy. I mean, he ain't shit, but that's my boy. Like, hell no, man. That's not the shit I want. I want to go to the bathroom, and it's like, damn, girl, you lucky. You got the CEO of Cement Block Productions, bitch. You don't even know it. You got to check my boy out, Cement Block _ Productions. They be fucking with that dude from Sushi. That's my favorite. I mean, my boy on, son. You know what I mean? That's the type of shit I want to hear when I'm in the bathroom. Come back, she be like, ooh, She's going to be like, what's Cement Block Productions? I'm be like, oh, girl, I wasn't even going to tell you about that, but let me break it down real quick.
And see, we already talked about this a couple of weeks ago on Bitch Made Cat. So make sure you check that out to get more details on how to avoid that kind of situation in the first place.
Man, this shit just be wild or something. That's what I'm talking about, though. You got to have self-respect. And just, by the way, just to go on a quick tangent real quick, because now I'm noticing it that I'm looking at my camera. So I went to the dentist on Monday, right? This past Monday. Now, listen, guys. I haven't been to the dentist in 12 years. Okay? So just to put in context, I was 15 or 16. I got braces put in. I got braces, and then I went to prison. Now, contrary to popular belief, they don't give a fuck about your braces in prison. So I remember I got into a fight with this dude. He punched me in my mouth, and one of my brackets on my teeth literally went through my lip. So you can't see it, but I have a scar on my lip because my tooth literally just went through that motherfucker. Well, it wasn't the tooth, it was the bracket on the front of my tooth. So after that fight, I went into my cell and popped all my brackets off with a plastic spoon. So I did that shit. So when I got out of jail, I still had that glue. But I'm no longer on my parents' insurance. So I let them know, I'm like, hey man, I still have this fucking glue or whatever. I need you to scrape it off. So they're like, don't worry about it. We'll scrape it off. And I was like, but I don't have no dental insurance. And they're like, fuck it, like we'll scrape it off. You just pay, you know what I'm saying? And then that'll be it. We'll just count it like as a cleaning. I was like, cool. They scrape all that shit on my teeth. That was the last time I went to the dentist. Okay, it's been 12 years since then, since I've been to the dentist. I went on Monday, and I'm paranoid. I'm talking to my brother about it. I'm like, damn, bro, like, because he was asking me, he's like, "What's a good dentist visit for you?" And I was like, "For me," I said, 2 cavities or less. Like to me, that's a dub. Because I was like, I don't know, what 12 years of not going to the dentist does to you. I go to the dentist, nervous than a motherfucker. I get in the chair. They do all their little tests. They're like, "When's the last time you went to the dentist?" I said, "I'm not gonna lie, like 12 years ago." They're like, "Damn." It's like, see, this is why like some people don't always need to go to the dentist. They're like, "Your teeth are fine." They're like, "You just grind your teeth a little bit at night, but we'll give you a night guard or whatever, and you'll be fine." And I'm like, "So like, no cavities, no nothing?" They're like, "No, nothing." They're like, "It looks like you ain't never had a cavity." I said, "Never, never in my life." And they're like, "Keep up the good work, man. Just," they're like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I floss every day and I brush my teeth." And they're like, "Keep it up, man. There you go, son." So there you go, guys. You don't got to brush your teeth twice a day, and you don't got to go to a fucking dentist.
Kind of the same thing, but mine was more of a, what's it call it? I guess emotional scarring, whatever. So out of the many times I've nearly died, 3 of them were major motorcycle accidents. So one motorcycle and then the fucked up thing is it got progressively worse. So back in the day, I used to wear novelty helmets, which are those ones that look like little beanies, like just little beanies that like are shiny, that are on your head that barely do anything.
Yeah.
And when you buy them, it says not DOT certified, like legit, just straight up on there. This is a novelty helmet. This is not for motorcycle riding. Blah blah blah. Who gives a shit, right? So one accident, I break the root, which I didn't know because I didn't go to the fucking dentist. I broke the root on 2 teeth. I felt like 2 chips. And then I cracked another tooth, like right down the middle. But I mean, it was like a hairline fracture. Next motorcycle accident. And from that on, I was like, okay, I'm gonna wear a real half helmet. Let me start wearing that. So wear a real half helmet. Same thing. Bam. Then I broke off the one that was broken in the root. Further chipped off some other ones, split another one. So now I got jacked up teeth, but not because I don't brush, but because I fucking hit my fucking mouth on the grill of a car or a semi because I wasn't wearing a full face helmet because I was trying to look cool. And so then that fucking ruined my self-esteem. And then I started getting cavities. Then I started, getting all kinds of fucked up shit. Then I had the accident where I broke my hip. And it wasn't when I stopped and broke my hip against a telephone pole. It was when I landed on the ground and broke the rest of my teeth. So these are fucking fake because they had to get put in because fucking all my teeth got broke off. So anyways, that's just a life lesson. If you're going to ride a motorcycle, wear a fucking full face helmet. Don't try to look cool. Dress for the slide, not the ride, because you're eventually going to fall down and have an accident.
I'm not gonna lie though, man. I don't see no problem with fake teeth, son. I knew this girl one time. Her whole front shit's all caps, and her teeth were pretty than a motherfucker. I remember one time. I remember when I had met her. I met her and we were out or whatever the fuck dancing, and she smiled at me. And I remember telling her, I was like, "Damn, girl, you got the prettiest fucking smile." And then she told me, she's like, "Thanks, I paid a lot for them." I said, "What?" And she's like, apparently, right? So she had fell down when she was a kid, bust her whole fronts on a curb, literally just busted her whole shit. And I'm like, ooh. Anyway, they're all caps. And I was like, man, them motherfuckers are pretty in the bitch because she's got like the extra white ones too. So I'm like, man, that shit gave you a nice ass smile, son. I was like, you making me want to get some veneers because, since I only wore my braces for like 2 fucking weeks, basically, like my top teeth have always been straight. But my bottom teeth throwing up gang signs. You know what I mean? My shit crooked than a motherfucker. So I'm thinking just about getting them taken out and just getting some fucking, some caps or some veneers or something like that, man. Because I literally have like my 2 front teeth go in like this, and then the one over here is hidden behind the other tooth. Like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't got like no snaggle tooth and shit like that, but my shit is like, you know what I'm saying? My shit fucked up. So I've been thinking about getting them taken out. That's why, like, bro, listen, I always wanted to get, like, the bottom grill, but I've always been so self-conscious about how fucking crooked my teeth are that I'm like, hell no, fuck that whole ass shit. If I get anything, I'll just get the top one. But, I want to get some caps or some fucking veneers put in my shit.
Well, see, that made me want to get, like, a gold tooth because once I had insurance and I started getting the caps put in or whatever, bridges, implants, whatever the fuck I got. So I have one empty spot because my insurance couldn't cover that. So what I want to do is get a fucking gold tooth, like right there. Just be like glistening. But it was the wrong side. I wanted it on my right side as my left. And it's like, man, like this is my better side. And I want to show off that fucking bling and that gold ass tooth. Like, yeah, it was but whatever.
Yeah, yeah. You should get what like hockey players get. You know how they got that it looks like a retainer, but it's got that tooth on it. You know what I'm saying? I seen one of them hoes. I was like, damn. I said if I only had one problem tooth, I would get that tooth taken out and I would just do that shit. Like I would just have that thing inserted in my fucking mouth and be like, nyang, 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 nyang. And whenever I had to eat, I'd just take it out, put it in a napkin or some shit. You know what I mean?
Oh man.
I've been paranoid about it. I've been looking at myself in the camera, and like I've been real just self conscious about my teeth because I've been trying to look at them, but without making it conspicuous that I'm looking at them. I'm like, damn. I was like, are my teeth like what do my teeth look like? Because apparently I got to go back in a couple weeks to get a cleaning, but it's all good though, man. First time in the dentist in 12 years. Let's go. They did say I got to cut back on the coffee though. They're like, boy, your shit stained the motherfucker. I said, well, that shit ain't gonna stop, so you can lose that dream, doc. I drink like 4 cups of coffee in the morning, like on my way to work. Now, when I say 4 cups, a serving is 6 ounces. 6 ounces is a cup of coffee. I have 20 ounces in the morning on my way to work. That's all the coffee I drink, but it's 20 ounces. So when they asked me how many do you drink, like using that measurement, I was like, I drink 4 cups of coffee a day. They're like, that's way too many. You need to drop that down to about half. And I was like, probably not gonna happen. So let's just go ahead and lose that fucking dream. But they're like, yeah, your teeth are getting like really stained. I was like, if you want me to make it worse, I used to be a smoker too. I said, I'm sure that shit didn't help either. All them fucking butts.
Fuck smoking. Like I can't do coffee. I don't know why. I just can't get behind it, even with all the sweeteners and stuff, because that just makes me fatter. And I was trying to get into cold brew, and that's tolerable. But even then, I'm just like, hey, I don't do shit for me. But then sweet tea, fucking, it's too much anyway. So I'm just trying to stick with water.
Nah, man, I like coffee like I like my soul black. Like no sugar, no cream, dark in the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I want my shit to look like Charlie Murphy. Like I want my shit dark and some bitch. I want Wesley Snipes looking at my cup when I be drinking coffee in the morning. I look at my coffee, it looks like the set of Blade. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit is real. But yeah, no, I still been doing good since I let y'all know. I still haven't been smoking. I still been on a diet. Your boy down to 174. Let's fucking go. Officially 31 pounds lost since I've started this journey.
Good job, brother.
I notice really more like when I want to smoke is like when I'm bored in a motherfucker. Like I just be bored and like my hands get to twinging. And since I'm dieting, I'm not snacking either. So I'm just like this. Now we're gonna get a little personal here, guy, because I done fucked up. I found out something the hard way the other day. So I was at work, right? I'm at work and I'm getting that like fidget feeling where I'm like, fuck man, like I want to smoke. I stop, I buy me a pack of gum, throw some gum in my mouth. Now, I noticed the gum is like helping me, you know what I'm saying? And it's working like extra gum. And I'm like, oh fuck yeah, this is cool, this is cool, this is cool, this is cool. I chewed 8 pieces of gum in like a 4-hour period. I didn't know this, guy. I had to Google this. Give this a Goog if you don't believe it. But apparently, if you have way too much fucking gum and all you're drinking is water for majority of the day, you get the worst diarrhea. And it was terrible, guy. Because listen, I'm riding around like a regular guy chewing gum, thinking I could trust my farts and shit like that. And they proved me wrong, guy. So after I stopped at a Walmart and bought me some new draws, I realized maybe I shouldn't chew this much fucking gum. Because they're going to ruin my underpants.
Now, when did you realize the gum was a cause? Like, did you realize that day or did it take you a while to figure it out? Did you have to Google it? Like, what the fuck?
I figured it out that day, but because, right, so look, this is what happened. So, and tell you it wasn't Walmart, it was a truck stop. It was a trucker stop. Apparently this happens often. They just sell draws at a truck stop. But I was sitting there, right? And I'm driving on the highway, and all of a sudden I feel like a bubble in my tummy. And I'm like, oh man, I got gas. So then I go let it out, and then bloop, and I was like, that's wetter than it should be. I pull over, pull into a truck stop, go to the bathroom, check myself, and I'm like, fuck. So then, take my drawers off, throw them in the toilet, go out, and I'm like, excuse me, crazy question. Do y'all have underwear for sale? And they're like, yeah, back over there in the corner. I'm like, well, hey, way to go truck stops. Buy me a new pair of underwear. I'm walking back to my truck. I literally just left the gas station, right? I'm walking back to my truck and then just feel the same bubbling sensation. I'm like, there's no way. So I clench my cheeks and do that awkward walk back to the bathroom and sit down just in case. And then sure enough, splatter all over that motherfucker. And I'm like, there's a problem. So then I'm like, I didn't have no more coffee. I'm drinking the same amount of water. I was like, what has changed? Because I hadn't eaten yet. Like I hadn't had lunch. So I'm like, I didn't eat nothing. I'm like, what the fuck could it be? And I was like, bro, I've had like 12 pieces of gum. I was like, and I'm like, so then I Google, I'm like, can chewing too much gum cause you to shit yourself? Like if you look at my Google, it looks like a child is in charge of my Google account. So I Google that, and sure enough, I run into an article that apparently there's something in the xanthan or whatever the fuck that if you chew too much, it upsets your stomach and it's a diuretic. So literally chewing 12 pieces of gum in like a fucking 5-hour period made me shit myself. And I found that out the hard way. Ruined my day.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen, here for the hard life lessons that you never want to learn on your own. Whew.
Yeah, I do it so you don't have to, guys. I do it so you don't have to.
It's for science, man. It's for science. It's experiments.
Exactly. I didn't want to shit my pants. I had to because I'm like, what does the sensation feel like of having to walk with fucking liquid rolling down the back of your leg to a gas station bathroom? Just terrible. Just terrible.
I've had a lot of close calls. I'm not going to lie. I had a lot of close calls where, you know, before I even sit down, it's coming out, but luckily I have my pants off. But yeah, no, haven't had that situation happen to me yet. Knock wood.
Listen, man, me and shit have a very precarious relationship. I've been fucked up with shit ever since I was a child. I remember one time, I don't remember how old I was. I want to say I was under 13. We were on a road trip, me and my family. And I think, so we stopped off at a gas station that's attached to a restaurant, right? I don't remember the restaurant. I guess Wendy's, which, listen, I love Wendy's. This is no, like, slander on Wendy's. I love Wendy's. But I ate that food. All of a sudden, my stomach gets to bumbling and the tumbling and the fumbling. I run to the restroom, guy, because I feel like I just can't hold it. As I'm pulling my pants down, and like, I don't know why, like when I was a kid, I took my pants down like a toddler, where, you got to put it all the way down to your ankles. So I fucking go bend down to go put it all the way down to my ankles. And it's like, as soon as my pants hit my ankles, my butt was just like, eject all contents immediately. So I just splattered all over the flusher, the wall, the seat. It was fucking terrible, son. So then I go, and then, I wipe up as best as I can my business and whatnot. And I'm not going to flush it. There's shit all over the flusher. So I fucking leave. I go wash my hands. As I'm walking out the bathroom, I see a janitor walking in. I'm like, fuck. And then as I'm leaving, all I hear is, what the fuck? And I just hurry back to go find my dad back in the car. And I go sit in the car like shit didn't happen. Like I just destroy that bathroom. So me and shit been fucked up with each other for a minute, man.
Similar topic, just about restrooms. Like I learned that women don't pull their pants all the way down to their ankles. And the reason I found this out was not that I was trying to find this out in particular. I forgot who I was hooking up with, but I know that she went camping and she was basically a fifth wheel on a camping trip out near Huntsville. So she wanted to meet me for a quickie at a Walmart parking lot. That's is it Navasota? I think we met in Navasota somewhere, but it's outside of Houston, like about an hour or so outside of Houston or north of Houston. And so this is when smartphones are still kind of new. And so I'm on my smartphone and I'm like just going through and I look up, I need to take a piss. Fuck it. Just walk around the Walmart, killing time. I'm gonna go take a piss real quick. So I go and I'm like, oh, okay, the restrooms are back there, searching through shit, whatever I was looking at. And I make a left because that's where the men's restrooms usually are at the Walmart that I would usually go to, because the layout of this Walmart is the same as the one I'm used to. So clearly the restrooms are in the same spot. So I go fucking walk in, walk. I see a row of sinks and I see a long ass row of toilets, the stalls. And I'm turning because I'm expecting at the end of the sinks to have some urinals. I don't see any urinals. Like, huh, okay. Without thinking, because I'm still on my phone, doing whatever was brand new to me and fucking cool as shit to do on the phone. Go into the stall. Don't even bother to like close the door behind me because we just walk in, kick the seat up, take a piss, and then walk back out. Don't have to do anything. Didn't bother closing the door because, and I'm broad-shouldered, so most of the time, urinals or restroom stalls are just wide enough to have like an inch or two on each side of my shoulders. So I'm basically holding the door open with my shoulder, taking a piss. And then I hear little girls walking in. I'm like, oh shit. And it clicks. There weren't any urinals in here. This is a women's restroom. So I pinch to stop the stream, turn around, sit down, pull my pants down to my ankles, close the door, and just sit there and finish peeing, sitting down, right? And I wait for the girls to stop laughing. And girls stop laughing, but then another woman comes in. And I was stuck in there for a good 30 minutes. Like just women, girls coming in and out. And I'm over there just trying to be quiet and act like I'm taking care of business. And I realize in the stalls next to me, you can see legs, you can see feet sometimes. And I could see that their pants didn't go all the way down to their ankles. Like you would just kind of see, at best, sometimes I would see it come down to their knees. But I'm guessing they just pull it down mid-thighs, down pee, and then come back up. And I was like, oh. That's kind of smart. That's like less effort. So I started doing that. But the crazy thing, the worst thing is I have anosmia, which is basically smell blindness. And there has to be a really strong scent for me to notice it. So someone wears a lot of perfume, or if I walk into a Mexican restaurant and they're just bringing out the fajitas, I can notice it, but I can only notice it for like half a second. And then I realize that was, what the fuck was that smell? And I can still remember it. But by the time I can say, oh, that's fajitas, oh, that's this perfume, I can't smell it anymore. I can't notice it. Like my mind just shuts it off or turns it off. However, body odors are something that kind of stick there. And whoever sat to me to my right one time had some stank ass puss. And man, I was trying my best to stifle that gag. I was like, just trying to hide it, right?
Oh my God.
And eventually, finally, she left. And finally, after that, like another 3 or 4 women came in and I was finally able to leave. So basically, I had 2 lessons of the day. 1, I can smell stank puss. And 2, you don't have to pull your pants all the way down your ankles when you go take a piss or a shit. Depending on if you're a sitter when you take a piss. You can just pull them down mid-thigh and you're fine. And I know women know this, but guys, you probably don't. So save yourself the effort, the extra like leaning forward before you get up or stand up. You can just grab them from your thighs and get up and get out. Take care of your business.
That's also because most girls, they wear skirts or like shit like that. So they don't want to let their panties touch the ground. You know what I mean? Because they're like, the ground is gross. I don't want that being on my puss. Because that's the other thing too is, guys, we're never just going to wear, a fucking kilt where our drawers are just going to touch the ground. And even if they would, men are savages. But join us next week, guys, when we talk about, is it okay to watch your partner shit? And that's it for this week on Block Talk. Guy, where can they find you at, man?
Oh, man, easiest, sucias.xyz. Just hit me up there if you want to at me for anything, or you have an idea for this episode or future Block Talk episodes. You can find us here on Instagram at cementblock_productions. I don't know why he has a long ass fucking title, but that's how you're going to find us on the Instagrams. You can hit up Boogie there, let him know that you want to complain about something or have an idea or even a question that we might be able to answer on the air in the future and get you the answers you need.
Hell yeah, he killed that. And if you want to look for me, you can find me at your local gas station. Throwing it up.
I see you, Block.